Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So a couple of days ago I covered the lore from Saga of the Beast. As many people were aware that from that book it doesn't really cover the actual battle between Ragnar and Gaz, but there is a separate piece of literature that is out there which covers the story in full detail, and that is called Saga of the Beast, but that is a book by David Annandale. So I'm going to be talking about that, what happens in the story and everything that concerns Ragnar and Ghazghkull. So let's jump in and let's get started. Now, since this is a book out by David Annandale, you may be reading this yourself, you may be wanting to read it. This video is going to contain all the spoilers in the world, so please turn back now. Also, I want to say a massive shout out to Shikeus one more time, because without him providing the text, these videos wouldn't be possible. So huge thumbs up to that guy. He's an absolute legend. So both Ragnar and Gaz get visions that show them the prophecy of the wolf. Ragnar gets a glimpse while fighting a Mauler fiend. Then he later goes on a spiritual journey through the Underverse, which echoes the Underverse journey Russ took prior to facing Horus back in the Horus Heresy. Gaz simply just receives a vision from Gorka and Mork telling him to go and stomp Ragnar, because this is basically the catalyst for sparking the Great War. Both warriors see the vision leading to an ending that could mean death, whether their own death or the other, we don't know. Well, sorry, they don't know. But this does not dissuade them from pursuing their visions. What's interesting is that this prophecy is an ancient prophecy, and it's a prophecy that Chaos wanted to stop. So guided by his vision, Ragnar travels to a world lost to the Imperium. On the planet, there was a temple guarded by a warlord Chaos Titan. The warlord's mission was basically to prevent anyone from meeting the imprisoned figure inside the temple. The warlord Titan, it states here, was much as a prisoner as the figure within the temple itself. So Ragnar and his merry men dispatch the Titan that is guarding the temple, and then they enter the temple and meet this mysterious figure. It turns out the figure in the temple is a seer of Fenrisian origin. Well, it says seemingly Fenrisian origin, so kind of hints that she may be from Fenris. She's been in prison there for a long time. She actually knows Ragnar by his name and actually knows of his destiny. It was actually her task to guide Ragnar to the planet where he will fight the beast and meet his so-called destiny. As Ragnar is talking to this so-called seer, she's actually young, but as she gives him more and more information, she starts to age by the second, and by the time she's finally give him the information of what he needs to know, she turns to dust, but she finds freedom. It's basically her task has been finally complete, and she can die knowing that it's done. So the seer revealed that the place where the Battle of Destiny will take place, it's a planet called Krongar, and it's past the Great Rift. The seer actually revealed the pathway through the rift to allow the wolves to get there. But the thing is, while they were on their journey there, they were actually ambushed and attacked by a force of Thousand Sons. The intention of the Thousand Sons was to stop the prophecy of the wolf from coming to pass. Ragnar's fate had to be severed either by getting Ragnar to turn back or by killing him. The Thousand Sons were willing to die and take the wolves with them in their desperation to stop this prophecy. Whatever the future that will be created by the prophecy seemed to be so dire to motivate the Sons of Magnus this much. So this is the big thing now. Chaos don't want this to happen, so the fallout from this is really going to affect them. Now, Ghazghkull knew that Ragnar was coming to the planet and he prepared for it. Now, despite having a huge, massive armada of, ships and all the daka that he could bring, he basically put that to one side because he wanted Ragnar to approach the planet, land there, so they could have this little battle and the prophecy could happen, because this prophecy will spark the Great War. It will turn the galaxy green, ending it for everyone bar the orcs. It's basically their time. But Grotsnik started to worry about Gaz. He was basically scared that Ghazghkull was going to lose and Ragnar would rip him apart and stuff like that. So Grotsnik manipulated some of the orcs and basically says, go and attack the Space Wolves, go and help the boss out and stuff like that. So some of the orcs actually attacked the Space Wolf fleet and trying to stop it from landing on the planet. The Space Wolf fleet, got through it. Ragnar did land on the planet, and Grotsnik got a good choking from Ghazghkull for trying to intervene in the prophecy. Now, Ragnar and his pack fought their way to a defiled Imperial Cathedral that Gaz chose to be the battleground for this duel of destiny. Rag and his pack then started to fight Gaz. It just wasn't Ragnar and Gaz at the start. The Space Wolves were engaging Ghazghkull as well. It actually states that the Space Wolves, started to pepper Gaz with bolt rounds, and Gaz didn't even notice him because, Gaz is so big and he's a beast and monstrous. One of the Space Wolves from the pack charged at Gaz, outpacing his brothers, and for his boldness, Gaz just basically casually hit him with his power fist and cut him in half. This absolutely enraged Ragnar, who came next at Gaz, leaping and engaging him. Gaz lunged back to meet Ragnar's fury, and the two clashed. Ragnar actually managed to deliver a blow to Gaz that actually staggered the Orc warlord back. Ragnar's wolves actually joined in and helped Ragnar. Though their attacks couldn't pierce Gaz's armor, they distracted Gaz long enough to allow Ragnar to deliver more heavy blows onto Ghazghkull. Ghazghkull then basically shot at some hidden munitions in the shadows that resulted in a series of explosions that absolutely devastated the cathedral. This was kind of like a sign, and all of a sudden loads of orcs started to swarm in, and they basically swamped the Space Wolves that were in the cathedral. This then basically isolated Ragnar from his men, leaving him alone to face Ghazghkull. So Gaz and Ragnar basically exchanged blows and counter blows. Gaz's armor was so damaged it basically lost power, but because he was so big, he still had like the powerful momentum of that, the huge orc that's inside the armor. Ragnar's armor was also damaged, and his movements became less graceful. Gaz was bigger and stronger, but this was countered by Ragnar being a faster, more skilled warrior. Ragnar's attacks hit more often, but Gaz seemed impervious to them. Gaz's attacks, however, hit rarely, but each one seemed to be powerful enough to crumple a rhino. Both Ragnar and Gaz fought with joy and fury, possessed by a flow of their shared destiny. But of course, it couldn't last forever. Ghazghkull yelled at Ragnar to finish the fight. Ragnar responded by making a massive leap towards Gaz. As he came down, he sent bolt rounds into the face of Gaz, who lashed out with his claws. Gaz then grabbed Ragnar and began crushing him, but Ragnar was close, and he used his free sword arm to thrust his chainsword into Gaz's broken armor, right into his neck. As Ragnar sawed off Ghazghkull's head, Gaz gurgled that this is where it starts. But of course, Ragnar had suffered a lot of damage, and he was basically mortally wounded. The bones in his body had pierced his heart, but before succumbing to his wounds, Ragnar lifted Ghazghkull's head in victory. Strangely though, the expression of Gaz's face was that of gleeful triumph. The prophecy of the wolf was fulfilled for both sides. The wolf had fought the beast. Both warriors met an ending. Now, some personal thoughts from Shakaius and also from me, basically, is that it seemed to me, and if you've been following me all the way through, that Gaz threw the fight on purpose. Gaz wanted to die. He wanted Ragnar to kill him to fulfill the prophecy that would start the Great War, and this is it. This is what's happening at the moment. The Great War has happened. Now, why did he need to die? I have absolutely no idea. I've seen some people put some theories out there about spores and stuff. So when orcs die, of course, their spores go into the ground. I saw a really great theory that Gaz is, since Gaz is like basically the big beast and stuff, his spores would more or less make other massive big beasts. So it'd be like something back when we had the Beast of Rising some years back and stuff. Well, I say some years back, some millennia back. For those of you who read read the series and, you know, there was some absolute massive warlords. Is that what Ghazghkull's trying to do? Who bloody knows? These are all just theories at the end of the day. I'd love to get your thoughts, feedback, everything like that about this lore down below. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. If you want to go and check out this story for yourself, I'll include the links in the description. The audiobook is absolutely fantastic. GW have really been making their audiobooks really good. You know, multiple voice actors and stuff like that in some of the new audio stuff, and they really are putting it out there. I definitely would recommend, if you're an audio fan like myself, yes, definitely pick this up. Anyway, that's enough from me. Hope you've enjoyed it. Have a great day. Again, thank you to Shakaias for providing the text. Without him, this video couldn't be possible. See you now. Have a great day, and bye-bye.